So hello everybody and welcome to the virtual retreat. This is day one in sunny Koh Samui and today is all about mindfulness. So we're going to do a few exercises in this video and we want you to join us and come along. You're going to need a few props. So the only thing that you'll need for this video is some Brazil nuts or some kind of nuts that you've got, raisins or strawberries or any kind of fruit. I just want you to get something that you can eat. And don't worry, I'm not going crazy. I'll show you exactly what we're going to do in this video. And also get a pen and a paper. So pause the video, go and get a pen and paper, maybe some nuts or some fruit, and then come back to this video. And then you can join us in this beautiful retreat in Thailand, although you haven't got the coconuts and the sun, and we have. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Welcome back. How mindful was you in your break? Much more? Okay. Any examples? And this isn't a test. This is just...
I was lying by the beach, really listening to the waves.
Yeah.
So I really felt that helped me focus, just listening to their sound.
Okay, amazing. Anyone else?
I took the book and didn't even read it because the birds were singing and I was looking at the sea.
Amazing. Did anybody else have any more awareness around their thoughts or anything like that? Yeah.
Just have thoughts, happy thoughts and positive thoughts and just being alone.
Yeah. Nice. And all
Instead of going off into your own thought fantasies or whatever.
your little stories.
Little stories.
Yeah, totally. So all the answers that you gave this morning were amazing about what mindfulness was. Yeah, who's missing? Debbie. Oh yeah, Debbie's still on the beach having a massage. we left her. Sorry, Debbie. So yeah, all the answers we gave earlier on for mindfulness, everybody gave some feedback what they thought mindfulness was and how they experience it, etc. were correct. They were spot on. And today, for the next hour, we're just going to talk about mindfulness a little bit more, but we're also going to do some exercises. I'm going to give you some Brazil nuts, I'm going to give you some raisins, and we're going to do some walking exercises. And what we're going to do is really slow down, because with all the answers, I think what mindfulness really is the opportunity to slow down and really experience life. A bit like when Alan drove past Ian on a motorbike, he said he was just like...
I was actually walking faster.
So Ian was walking faster than Alan on a motorbike, but that's good, safety first.
Yeah.
But I think the thing, for most of us, and for anybody listening at home, is that we rush through life so fast and we kind of miss those moments. I see so many parents that are sort of talking to their kids, semi-talking to their kids, but they're also checking their Facebook statuses in coffee shops. Or, you know, you're in a relationship and you're sort of bringing all the old stuff from the relationship or the old relationship into your new relationship, the old problems, insecurities and stuff like that. Or you could be on the beach having a massage, thinking about what you're going to be talking about in the next session for your yoga retreat. And you go, no, Brett, you're having a massage. So I think mindfulness gives us an opportunity to really slow down and focus on one thing at a time. So my next question is, what did your food taste like at breakfast? Amazing? Okay, did anybody we was all talking and we're all having an amazing time, we're all connecting. Did anybody become mindful of their food that they was eating? Did they become more mindful of the tastes, of the flavours? Did they sort of slow down a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, we discussed it a lot as well, didn't we? We talked about the different flavours and we took our time. It was actually quite a long breakfast, so it was lovely.
It was
Amazing.
different
Yeah.
from what you get at home.
Yeah.
If you think, I don't do that here, you know, like the gluten-free breakfast and that.
And
You know,
pancakes, yeah.
the pancakes, you know, think, wow, would we have the time to do that at home?
Yeah.
So it's taking that in and just absorbing every little mouthful.
Every taste. Yeah, totally. And then when we start to absorb the taste and we start to absorb it, we can literally take the food tastes different. So that's why, as crazy as it sounds, I'm talking about Brazil nuts because I've got everybody a treat. How you doing, guys? That's all right. No worries. So I've got some Brazil nuts. Woohoo! Apart from the late ones. And some raisins. So what I'd like you to do is take a few raisins, and if you're listening at home, take some raisins, a bit of fruit, a strawberry, or some Brazil nuts, and come along with us on this taste bud adventure. I'd like you to pass them around. I'll give you a few that way. Just take a few out of each one. And we're just going to become mindful and do one thing at a time. You right there, Lenny?
Well,
Yeah.
Really
Come in, yeah, come in, man. Come in. Come sit here. So just plain raisins. So take a few raisins, take a few Brazil nuts. If you're hungry, take a handful. And like I said as well, if you're listening at home, grab a pen and paper. I want you to look at the Brazil nut. I want you just to stare at this Brazil nut. And come back to your breath like we was doing earlier. You could be sitting up in a cross-legged position. You can just chill out in any way you need to be chilling out. And the first thing I want us to do is just start to breathe through the nose and back out through the nose. And just hold that Brazil nut and just start looking at the texture, the colours, and how it feels. So really feel the Brazil nut. Thanks, Joe. We'll use them in a minute. And try and shut out all the stuff that's outside, the noises, the distractions. Just really focus, like become one with the Brazil nut. You are a Brazil nut. So again, just feel the sides, like what kind of shades has it got? Mine's got different coloured brown bits on it. It's flaking. It's rough, it's smooth. And if you maybe close your eyes and just get into feeling it, and just focus on your breath, breathing in and out. And if you're listening at home, whatever you've got in your hand, whether it's a banana, a strawberry, just really feel what you've got in your hand and close your eyes and just start to focus on your breath. Become really mindful. And again, don't eat it, but I want you to bring it to your mouth and let it touch your lips. Maybe give it a lick, but don't eat it. Maybe you can smell it. Just focus on your breath, breathing in and out. Who really wants to eat that Brazil nut? When you're ready, in your own time, just take a bite of that Brazil nut. And start to chew it really slowly, really mindfully. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open. And take another bite whenever you're ready. Again, just really slow down. Try and chew it about 20 times before you swallow it. Really taste it in your mouth, on your tongue, in between your teeth. You know, when you're ready, open your eyes. How does that taste to anybody? Did anybody feel like it tasted like a Brazil nut? Did it taste normal? Anything? Or in what way?
You really taste the oil coming out of the nut because it's slower.
Yeah.
So I could really taste it, whereas normally I can just taste the nut bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely tastes different.
Taste the chemical reactions going on. Because it's flavours.
Tasted the chemical reaction.
Smoked on, so I can't taste much, but I can just absorb it.
Yeah.
Just the moment.
It was a bit of a sensual experience, actually.
In what way, Joe?
Well, because you kind of, when you have your eyes closed and you can
smell it with a Brazil nuts don't smell, but just touching it to your mouth and just, you know, and just waiting for that moment before you can take the bite. It's that anticipation of something that's going to be amazing. So,
I think it was the best Brazil nut I've ever tasted.
And you do like your nuts, Deb, didn't you? So we probably took, what, about 4 or 5 minutes maybe just to eat one Brazil nut? Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 minutes to eat a whole dinner. When you're on the fly, you know, you're flying out, you're getting your dinner, boom, 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 gone. And I'm using the Brazil nuts and the raisins because they're probably the most best examples you can give on being mindful and slowing down on something really small and really, really simple. So the next exercise is we're going to stand up and we're going to start to walk around the room, but become really mindful of each step. So is your heel touching the floor first? Is your toes touching the floor first? I want you to really become mindful. Just walk around your room, feel the texture of the carpet, of the floor, of the yoga mat, and just really feel and slow down with your walking as well. Like go like half the length of as that you normally would. So really slow down. And as you walk around, become mindful, come to your breath. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes, use your hands to make sure you don't walk into any walls or anybody else. And maybe you can say little mantras inside your mind, like left foot when it connects to the floor, right foot when it connects to the floor. And now make it even slower. So that you're on slow motion, really slowly. And connect to every part of the foot that connects to the floor. Energy seems to have really slowed down. How did anybody find that? Any experience?
Very
Difficult.
yeah, because I use the momentum to keep my balance. So actually walking really slowly, I'm really aware that I'm wobbly. I mean, I've got quite my balance anyway. So
Just don't.
Was that with your eyes closed or open?
both. Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
cool.
Yeah.
Because I found a difference of that then. Eyes closed, balance was totally different to when I opened them back up.
Yeah.
So I had more sense of balance when they were open and they were closed.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, well, it is down to the breath on that. And I've had a focus point as well, like you said, look at something, so I focus point on my yacht out there.
Yeah. Brilliant.
My yacht.
Yeah. Focus point and a visualization. Anybody else find it difficult or easy? Anybody found it calming? Did anybody mind calm down? I found my mind. I only done a little bit, but I felt pretty peaceful. Yeah. You found it peaceful. Yeah.
Stillness.
It's beautiful, right? I stayed at a silent retreat. I didn't know it was a silent retreat. I actually checked in to this retreat, and then we had our first meal, and they done like a welcoming meeting, and they said, right, for the next 7 days or 5 days, everyone can't speak. And I was like, I didn't realise it was a silent retreat, but it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And they got us every single day to go out in nature. We'll do a little bit now and just walk up and down. Find like a little path, maybe from here to that tree, and walk up and down that path for like an hour, just up and down, up and down. And it was amazing. It really slowed everything down. And then I noticed when I used to get off the train from work sometimes, if my head was still spinning with what had happened with my clients or I don't know, anything, any stress or anxiety, I just started to focus on the tree that was in front of me. And I walked. I still do it now. And then I just walked and I was just looking at that tree and I was going left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And it just made my mind so peaceful. And they say in yoga, don't they, when you control the breath, you start to control the mind. And when you control the mind, you really control your life. So the next thing is we're going to go outside. Do your mindful walking. You don't have to go as slow. Keep your flip-flops off just for now. And I want you just to go and connect to a tree, to a flower, and just literally, just for a few moments, maybe touch the texture of a leaf or if you're at home, go outside in the garden and just feel the grass or something, just for literally a couple of minutes. So let's go outside and just, you can hug a tree if you want, Deb. Yeah. But notice, like with the Brazil nut and with the raisin, when you really stare at a leaf, like you really see the beauty in it. You really see the texture. So go and have a little adventure outside and I'll give you a call in 2 minutes. And if you're listening at home, just go outside in the grass, in the garden, just connect to a tree. If you like Debbie, you can hug a tree if you want to hug a tree. I do like hugging trees. Yeah, go for it, yeah. And so how did anybody find that? How did the leaf look? Has anybody stopped to look at a leaf in so much detail in the last sort of couple of weeks? Have you actually stopped to see the trees outside? Anybody got any experiences? Anyone feedback? I thought we was going to lose Joe. I thought he was having a relationship with that tree. She was like, it looked amazing. So connected, it was beautiful. Yeah. Did anybody find that hard, or was it easy, or? Emotional. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's in stillness that it actually happens.
100%.
And you just realize doing all day.
It's like a weight off your shoulders, isn't it? It's like a release. Yeah. I think life is happening anyway. You know, we think we know what we're doing, but it's just happening. Yeah.
It was so alive. Leaf and blade of grass was alive, but still.
Yeah. Not moving.
Sound, just the water, so much happening.
Beautiful.
So it was quite emotional when you realize you're that actually. You can be just be still and still live a full life.
Yeah. I find it funny when people say they're bored and there's nothing to do. There's so much. I mean, I used to be like that, but now I'm like, wow, there's so much. You could just go outside and just connect like that. It's insane. Even inside our bodies, there's so much going on. And when we're mindful of that as well. Anybody else? Any other experience? I know Joe had a great time.
Yeah, because I think that because everything's vibrating, I think if you really try and connect the aura of a tree, you can feel it. I mean, you can really feel it. You can feel it not just in the texture of it, which is beautiful, and every tree is different. So like every person is different. So, but actually, you can feel an energy from them. So that's what I was doing. Was kind of just trying to connect and I was talking to the tree in my mind at the same time. I know it was a bit weird, but I was talking to the tree through my hands.
It's not like a word or a fish. It's just an undescribable sense or something, isn't it? I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it was just that kind of
Connection.
Yeah, but it's deeper than that. I can't really explain.
No, I totally get you. I think there's definitely more than the 5 senses that we've got. There's some other senses that we're just unaware of. Anybody else? Yeah?
Was telling me that I'm fucking weirdo.
What? Your head?
He was telling me I'm fucking weirdo. I did actually tune in. I do it a lot with nature and plants and things because they are so beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I got an ant started crawling up my leg at the same time as trying to appreciate the tree and the flowers, which set me off a little bit. But I tried to talk to the ant as well.
Amazing. Yeah, your head's right. You're a fucking weirdo. No, I'm joking.
I'm quite tired and it's really hard for me to quiet my mind.
Yeah.
This is helping massive.
Yeah.
And as the days go up, hopefully I'll get some sleep tonight.
There's a great teacher called Anthony DeMello. He's passed away now. He wrote a book called Awareness, and his stuff is just phenomenal. And it's just literally awareness. You want to change anything in your life, you want to be successful, you want to be happy, you want to give up drug, anything, it's just awareness. And he says once you've got awareness over something, you're more or less in control of it. Until you've got awareness, it controls you. Does that make sense? So you've got awareness. When you become aware of life and everything's happening just in the stillness, it changes the whole game. How many times do we stop and look at, like, of each other and really stare at that person's wrinkles, their eyes. I won't look at you there now. But like really stop at every little complexion, every little particle, every hair on their head. You know, they say in Buddhism, just when you meet somebody, just imagine it's the first time you've met them again. Every time you meet your friend, it's like the first time you've ever saw them. And I think that's so beautiful. It's like when you touch those leaves, it's like, wow, look at the different colours, the different textures. And when you meet your friends, just like, it's imagine you've seen them for the first time and you're just like blown away by their beauty. And again, when you really see that beauty in others, it starts to really uplift that beauty in you. You realise that you're them and they're you. Sorry, Nancy.
Another thing was the perfection.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
So just looking at, as you say, look at each other.
In the perfect way, yeah.
There's no flaw there.
There's a great, I can't remember what it was, a great saying. There's two types of people in life. It's either a miracle or a mistake. And when I go and look at one of those leaves, there's no way in a million years that can be a mistake. Or when I go and look at a spider web, there's no way in a million years. Or a human body, you know, whatever it is, it's a miracle. Okay, so pen and paper, and if you listen at home, grab your pen and paper. What I'd like you to do now, if you've got a pen, Ian, what I'd like you to do now, yeah. Now, Joe's got some spare pens. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a new piece of paper, and we're going to create a list of 5 to 10 things, any areas of our life. It can be our friendships, our relationships, our jobs.
Okay, you go first then. I'll
So we're just going to create a list of 5 to 10 things where we could become more mindful in life. You've just noticed, or you've just realised, and I'm sure you know this stuff already, how good a Brazil nut can taste when you just stop and just slowly chew it. How deep and meaningful life can become when you just look at a leaf, or you touch a rubber plant and it tastes like it feels like velvet, you know, or a raisin, the taste that comes from one raisin. So imagine all the areas of your life. Again, it could be friendships, relationships, even your connection to yourself. 5 to 10 things where you could become more mindful, and where you're going to choose to become more mindful. It could be as simple as when you're eating your dinner. So if you're at home, grab a pen and paper and write 5 to 10 things where you could become more mindful. So it could be when you're playing with your children, it could be when you're eating your dinner, it could be when you're going to the gym, or even when you're doing your yoga practice. You know, a lot of people go through these strong practices, they go 100 miles per hour and sometimes not really doing anything because they're not really mindful. They're sweating, they've had a good practice, a good exercise, but they've not really become mindful. So just think to yourself 5 to 10 areas where you can become more mindful, and areas that you're going to start to focus on from here on out. So now you've got a list maybe of 5 to 10 things. Just close your eyes for a second. And just imagine you're watching yourself being more mindful in 1 or 2 of those things that you wrote down. So those areas of your life that you wrote down where you want to become more mindful. Just close your eyes, just for a second, and just imagine you're watching a YouTube video, like a clip. You're watching a movie inside your mind, and you can see yourself being more mindful. For example, if you're being more mindful around your parents, you can see yourself slowing down and really listening to what they've got to say, really connecting at a deeper level. If you are becoming more mindful around the food that you eat and you want to slow down, you want to become healthier, then see yourself eating your food a lot more mindfully. Or if it's the connection with your children, you can see yourself taking your time, really seeing that beauty inside them. Or even if it's nature like we did. Just play the movie in your mind for a few moments. Just repeat it over and over again, seeing yourself being mindful. And if you're at home, just close your eyes, take a few breaths, and visualize yourself being more mindful in the areas that you just wrote down. Remember what we said at the start, or what I said at the start of today, that everything is just a story inside our heads. It's just a movie. Sometimes we just need to slow that story down and become more mindful. And then when you're ready, just open your eyes if you feel like you're finished. For some strange reason, and I don't know why, I've not got to the bottom of it yet, but our ego, there's part of our brain somewhere that just doesn't like peace. It doesn't want us to be happy. It doesn't want us to stop and connect. And it doesn't like us being mindful. It likes to be addicted to stories, problems, pains, discomfort. It's always focused on these distractions, taking us away from the now, taking us away from the moment. And like we said earlier, when you become mindful, you really connect to the now. And in my experience, that's where the joy and the love and the happiness and the real success is found, right in the now. But the ego is like an addict. Like I said to Nancy on the beach earlier, it's like a heroin addict. You know, I don't believe that the addictions people take outside are the problem. I don't believe the problems that we got out here. I think the problem's inside the ego. It latches onto something, it gets addicted to something, and then it repeats it, obsesses about it, becomes jealous about it, angry about it, shares it with everybody else. And all this is doing is making the ego stronger, more superior. Or on the opposite side, it can make us feel inferior. We're not as confident, we lack that self-esteem, and it's other people are bigger than us and better than us. And so I think the ego is the culprit. But like we said earlier in our meditation, we're not that ego, we're not the voices in our head, we're not that story. And through the power of mindfulness, by simply slowing down, we can let go of all that anxiety and stress, all that negativity and worry that we just don't need. So thank you for practicing this mindfulness hour with me. What we're going to do now is going to have a very, very mindful yoga practice. And the reason why I want to share mindfulness, not just because it's the first chapter in the book, but also to make this experience in Thailand a bit richer. When we become more mindful of this week, and we stop and we slow down, it's going to highlight everything that you're doing. Rather than just, you know, having a quick week and then retreat's finished and it's over. It's like, wow, where did that time go? Let's just really slow down. And everything we do, when we go out to the beach, when we have our massages, when we're eating our dinner with each other tonight, when we're going through our yoga practice, let's become as mindful as we really can. And then we'll just, again, take that back out into the world when we finish the retreat. So if you listen at home, my name's Moran. Everybody, thumb out, finger down, pow.